Alrighty, morning everyone. It's Sunday. What is it? February? Yeah, it's February 22nd. It's 2222 up in here. 2222. It's not 2022. It's 22226. Yes. It's cold outside. Let me do the weather report. A very frosty time here in Memphis. Yes. Yeah, this is going to be another Wackahovend. We're going to be covering his Tuesday video, which means I will have completed his entire saga of garbage this week. Yeah. Um, where he talked about a biblical character, Ananias. I don't know. These characters suck. The story kind of sucks. Really not a fan. Deep lore just gets worse and worse the more you go into the Bible. But, let's see what kind of crazy junk Hovind has to say. Let's see how much stuff he gets wrong in his Bible story studies and character studies, because for some reason this guy is supposed to be some kind of theologian, doesn't know jack diddly squat about his holy book, barely even bothers to pronounce things correctly. And what else? What else? Oh yeah, see how he can inevitably work someone's pain and hardship, which that book for some reason is full of, either into his own persecution complex or other failings in his own pathetic life. That being said, hi, I'm some jerk on the internet, and it's time for Whack-A-Hovend. Let's get right into this. Let me tell Restream, I always gotta narrate this. I don't know why I mock Hovind for doing it, and then I do it, but I hate the silence. Just gonna click this button here and make Ananias pop up and then minimize myself. Excuse me, minimize. Are you gonna minimize? No? No, you're not gonna minimize? What are you doing? Technical difficulties, please stand by. Okay, we're going to stop sharing completely and restart sharing. That should fix things. There we go. Because the trick is to do the music the way I'm doing it now. I have a separate window showing with the RBMK TV logo full screen. And Restream kind of gets a bit jank sometimes when you do that. So, yeah. Anyway, all right. We're here. Everything's looking good. Let's get to it.
What do you spend your time thinking about?
Drugs. All the drugs. There, you happy? No. Although some, chemical compounds are kind of amazing in how they interact with the human brain. Chemistry's organic chemistry is an amazing thing. Starting soon.
Good evening, folks. Ken Hovind here in the crew at Dinosaur Adventureland in lovely Lenox, Alabama. It is February the 17th, 2026. Coming up on the 18th tomorrow. Didn't that come tomorrow? Okay, yeah. It did when I was a kid.
Latubian, that is very much intentional, me sounding like Hovind during that opening earlier.
I hope they didn't change that. Anyway, we're on a bunch of different channels. Come join us here. We're on Facebook, a bunch of people on there. Rumble, our X, Mark Dunn, help us finish our 1/3 scale model Noah's.
And yeah, Nick, I have seen the we covered a few way back that first filing, did a whole 3-hour escapade on it. Then he posted the other day, he showed one that he apparently had just filed, which Robert Beatty left a comment on one of my videos, uh, leaving the text copy of his Facebook post he had made, which I went and found and looked at, where this claim, some said insanity called like a First Amendment complaint. Don't even know what the fuck that could possibly be. Also, the last people to give a damn about the First Amendment are soft-sit idiots like Kent. Well, excuse me, Republican curs like Kent. Soft-sits think the First Amendment, eventually becoming First Amendment auditors, think they can get away with everything. It's a weird duality. So right-wing soft-sits are just weird. Kind of like Hovind being a Nazi Zionist, but that's another story. Yeah, Beatty had noticed a couple of things and looked up the filing. It's some insanity, so at some point I'm going to have to make time for a deep dive into that. Lol, drugs indeed. It's like, what's a response? What's a response that Hovind isn't expecting?
Dark, 172 feet long. We need landscapers, plumbers, sheetrockers, painters. Come on down.
Yeah, boobs, butts. Yeah, that was my other. It was going to be my other option, but I thought drugs just had more sharpness. It's a slightly funnier word than boobs and butts. Ass and titties. Ass and titties. That's a 3-6 Mafia song from back in the day, them being a local rap crew that's quite famous. Wait, he said some kind of key trigger. Oh yeah, he said it's blacktop and sheetrock and all that jazz. Yeah, I got blacktop my sheetrock my blacktop. I only think in brand names, Hovind.
Now, we are an old-fashioned independent temperamental Baptist ministry. We believe the Bible is true. The
Are you a church or a ministry? Which is it? Are they one and the same? Are they different? Inquiring minds want to know, Kent.
evolution theory is dumb, stupid, retarded, idiotic. If you believe that,
Well, just straight dropping the R bomb less than a minute into your thing. Good job, Kent. Good job. Yeah, I dropped it yesterday myself a couple of times. I excuse myself on that. One was an insult to myself, and the other was me finally not giving a damn about decency in regards to talking to you. So, yeah. You don't seem to be aware of how ridiculous your pathetically written fable sounds to anyone who, one, has any clue about reality, but two, is educated at all on mythologies elsewhere in the world that are infinitely better than what a bunch of goat fuckers in the Middle East came up with. All right? Let me be very clear on that. Even for mythology, the Bible stories are fucking shit, Kent. Oh, sorry, I forgot. I usually I kept it in my mouth. You wouldn't want in your hand. A word. Because again, this motherfucker acts like making a statement is going to actually manifest it into reality. Clearly not understanding how language works.
you got duped. Get your money back for your education. They lied to you. There is no evidence for evolution. God made everything in
Can I get my money back for your 9.5 years in prison? The percentage that I paid on that? I would like that money back.
6 days, about 6,000 years ago. Noah's flood destroyed the world. All the layers and fossils were made in 1 year during Noah's flood. There's no such thing as a geologic column. I'm sorry, guys. You got.
Okay, this has nothing to do with Ananias. Why are you doing this? Is it because of an OCD? Is it because of the tism? Because you got something off, man. And I seriously think it is a major touch of the tism that causes you to be the broken record that you are.
Lied to, okay? Evolution theory is the dumbest theory, and it's dangerous. We teach the kids they're an animal, then wonder, why are they acting like animals?
Oh, the Bible's so dangerous. We teach people that the only way to be good is to be a Christian, and the only chance for salvation is a Christian. So you go and destroy other cultures and destroy other people if you have to ensure that they all become Christian. Wow.
What's going on? Duh. Prove me wrong. You think there's evidence for evolution? Call in. Question answer at the end.
Prove yourself right, fuckface.
Almost all my broadcasts, I do this. Come join us. Let's see. We'll be your family for holidays, or just come on down. If you're confused in life, you don't know what to do, you have big decisions to make, come visit Dinosaur Adventureland. Take our tour, stay in our cabins, everything's free. Watch the stars from our sand dune. Let God speak to you. Great place to hear God speak. Call Bobby, 85.
You know, last time I remember God speaking to somebody, Sharon Tate got killed. Just saying.
5 Big Dino, extension 2.
Oh, and let's not forget Waco and a bunch of other stuff. That's the first one that comes to mind.
To talk to her, this
Or was it Shannon Tate? Can't remember the names. Damn it, it's too early for me.
secretary. Extension 3 to talk to me. Extension 5 to schedule a cabin. Extension 4 if you want Joseph to get on it.
Okay, it was Sharon Tate.
Have me on your show. You got too much noise around you. You can't hear God speaking. Shut everything off. I went up today
Including Hovind.
and laid on the sand dune and just watched the clouds for a while and talked to the Lord about a couple things. Elijah heard God because there was a still small voice, and he just shut everything off. He said, Psalmist said, when I consider thy heavens, when, just get alone and talk, spend some time talking to God. Come on up. We want to help you. God gave me this 140-acre property for our ministry at a low time in my life.
Oh, no mention of the guy who donated it to them. Nope, God did it. What a load of shit.
Fresh out of prison, my wife of 42 years divorced me for no reason other than scared of the IRS. A lifetime
No, Kent, she was scared of you because you had already thrown her under the bus. She had finally realized what a piece of shit you are.
of ministry assets and a museum displays in Pensacola gone. Come pray. Cry with me.
So petty. I'm not gonna cry with you, fuckface. I laugh at your misfortune and discomfort.
Just sit.
You fucking deserve it, and the fact that you've somehow failed upwards over the past 10 years is a travesty to everything in the universe.
It's more tears to the sand dune. There's a bunch up there already. Okay. In the office, Bobby, Joseph's wife, is claiming She's overworked. I don't
Note the abusive language right there. Claiming. A very common abuse technique is to use phrasings like that.
ever see her doing anything. No, she's
Also, perpetual use of supposedly with things. He supposedly did such and such. Like, no, that's what happened, or didn't. Supposedly didn't, and it's like, no, that's what didn't happen.
you do. She's a hard worker. Okay. I suggested she just give up sleeping, work 24/7 like I do. She didn't like that idea. Anyway, call her if you'd like to come apply to be her assistant. Joy's going to have a baby here in a couple months and probably going to want to take care of the baby, right? Instead of, yeah, but we'll still get some work out of her. So call Bobby, fill the orders, make the DVDs, run the inventory, all kinds of fun stuff they do there. Jenko Show, 405,000 views now. Get me on some shows. I like to be on every show in the world, okay? If you want to help us get the blacktop to go around our Noah's Ark, get rid of some
Very true. He is more sad about losing his property than losing the family.
of the mud. Still just one bid. I'm waiting on 4 more, $133,000. Raising funds. If you want to help with that, call Bobby, 855.
You know, Kent, you could, hear me out, you could just turn it into a log road in effect. You could totally do that. And there you go. Problem solved. Be way cheaper. Wouldn't have to be good. Just has to be, reasonable lumber. Just constantly, cut, place, cut, place, cut, place. There you go. Cut your tree in half, one piece, one piece. There you go. Do it a couple thousand times. Yeah, it's a lot of fucking wood, but you can get some shitty wood relatively cheap. But odds are the asphalt would be cheaper, and it is asphalt, Kent, not blacktop.
Big Dino Extension 2. It's going to be about that no matter.
Talk like it's not 1958, okay?
Just the price per square foot is just what it is, okay? That's a 15-foot wide road all the way around. It's not blacktop in the parking lot even. Okay, so let's say we don't go in debt. If we don't get the money, we won't do it. So come on down. Outer loop. And
well, you do see him fake more in that. I just want to see my grandkids. I just want to do this, do that, etc. Hovind will sometimes go in the crocodile tears with that. But yeah, generally, it's always just, I just miss my land in Pensacola.
Inner loop. Help us stay open for free. Join our 777 club. Say, Brother Hovind, I like what you're doing. I believe you're winning souls for the Lord. I'm going to help support you. $1 a day.
And if you want or able to support Yamato, just posted a link in the description. I need some major help. If you can send even a couple of shekels that way, it would go great towards accomplishing what still feels kind of like the impossible. But check the link and you'll get details.
$1 a month, $1 every 100 years if you want. Come on down. Oh, let's see. Slide number 15.
I'll give you one melted penny.
16. Let's get to Ananias. In Acts chapter 5, you got Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John are the 4 Gospels.
Thank you. I am cult leader of the century, or the decade. Oh, sorry. You meant Kent. Yeah.
Life story of
Was that self-deprecating humor, or was that just me being weird? I don't know anymore.
Jesus Christ, biographies of Jesus from different people. And then he told them at the end of each one, hey guys, go into all the world and preach the gospel. So what did the disciples do? Well, they did what
he could sell the kudzu, but that involved going through work of actually, cultivating and pre-processing it for sale, however much he would need to, for whatever state the buyers would want it in.
He told them. It's called the actions or the acts of the apostles.
And that really, really wouldn't benefit DAL because it's not building anything extra and acting as a money sink.
They went out to spread the gospel. Let's talk about Acts chapter.
See, what Kent has to be doing, and this is just an idea, I'm not explicitly accusing Kent of this, but I have a strong suspicion that the constant work to keep everyone busy, we already know is to keep them busy and tired so they don't question him, but this constant need for money in guise of these projects, quotes are being misquoted, requests are being inflated so that they get more money than they need so Hovind can live his relatively lavish lifestyle that he hides from everybody. Remember, he has a hot tub. but complains about anyone taking showers longer than 2 minutes. So, thing costs $150, I ask $300, I pocket the other $150. We do the actual work, but then I get a little off the top and everything's cool because people thought they were paying for a $300 job, not a $150 job, that kind of thing.
5. This guy named Ananias.
So basically capitalism.
Great lesson to learn from this guy. It says in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, neither be idolaters as some of them were, neither let us commit fornication, neither let us tempt
fornication. We gotta hear him say that again.
Idolaters as some of them were, neither let us commit fornication, neither
fornication.
Neither be idolaters as some of them were, neither let us commit fornication, neither let us tempt Christ, don't murmur. All these things happen unto them.
Oh my God. Sorry, I'm trying to get it just right there, and then we're gonna listen to it slow, but so I've mentioned before my keyboard has issues. The USB cable is frayed internally. And it is sometimes, depending on its position, like you may have heard the Windows do its thing right there. It just goes in and out at random points and really kind of sucks. And so it's like tripping in and out, spacebar pressed, not pressed, out of nowhere. It's being stupid. All right, we're going to knock it down to Hovind.
Fornication.
It's totally worth it. All right, let's get back up to 1.0. Oh God, can you imagine there are probably people who actually watch Hovind seminars while they sleep? They go to sleep with that stuff going. Like my phone is going all damn night with some kind of white noise in the form of some sort of like multiple hour science video or some shit. People make those videos to fall asleep to now. And I'll always wake up and it's on some goddamn Star Wars dissertation about the entire history of the goddamn Sith, like just the whole fucking thing. I'm like, great.
Either let us tempt Christ, don't murmur.
Tempt Christ, don't murmur. Why are you talking like this, Kent?
All these things happen unto them for ensamples, and they are written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are come. When you read about other Bible characters, you should learn something that'll help you to either to do something or to not do something, depending how it turned out for them. I remember as a kid watching some of my neighbor kids do something dumb. I said, I'm not going to do that. Don't do that. Okay. In Acts chapter.
Meanwhile, my friend Steve, who died, the older gentleman that I bought my gun from, actually, worked at Muscle Shoals Sound Studio in the 70s. It's a big deal. I want to go down there and, been by there. Hadn't been to visit, though. Want to go down there and tour the place. Anyway, he told a story of his friends getting a hold of one of their dads fucking Lugers from World War II. A little trophy. And they were just shooting it in the area neighborhood being constructed, just firing off in the middle of nowhere. And I believe it from him. I believe that shit. So never underestimate kids in the fucking 50s and 60s doing crazy shit.
One.
That being said, to Hovind, stupid stuff was probably riding a bike in rough gravel or something. I don't know.
They said, "Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven?" This is the angels talking to the disciples. Jesus just went up. Angels said, "Hey guys, what are you doing? What are you looking up there for? This same Jesus, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner," coming back in the clouds, "as you've seen him go into heaven."
Coming in the clouds. He's coming clouds. Everybody watch out. Holy Spirit gonna get you. It's a holy bukkake in the room. Clouds everywhere.
And when they were come in, they went into the upper room, where abode both Peter, James, John, Andrew, Philip, Thomas, Bartholomew, Matthew, James the son of Alphaeus, Simon Zelotes, and Judas the brother of James. There are 2 Judases and 2 Simons. These all continued with one accord in prayer and supplication with the women and Mary, the mother of Jesus, and with his brethren. Did you know Jesus had 4 brothers? I know the Catholic.
I've watched The Life of Brian.
Teach Mary's the perpetual virgin. She had 4 other sons, okay, and several daughters. It says daughters plural. I've said if Mary's the perpetual virgin, then Joseph.
She was worn the fuck out.
Gets the prize, okay. Mary, the mother of.
And Kent, what the fuck does that mean? The fuck, bruh?
Jesus and his brethren. In those days, Peter stood up in the midst of the disciples and said the number of names together were about 120. So Jesus had 12. Judas betrayed.
Note they can't just say it was 120 people. They got to go through all that obtuse language that wouldn't even have been appropriate in 1611 range.
Betrayed him and hung himself. So now he's got 11. They're meeting together, waiting for him to.
Did he hang himself, Kent, or did he trip and his guts spill out everywhere? Because apparently he was a giant balloon ready to pop, like one of the fucking boomers in Left 4 Dead.
For the Holy Spirit to come down. And they all stayed in that room. Now there's 120 of them. People, the church has grown to 120.
He had a different kind of cloud seeding.
In Acts chapter 2, they that gladly received his word were baptized, and the same day there were added unto them about 3,000 souls. So the church grew from 120.
Yeah, Tigray, seriously. Tigray saying, just listen to this nonsense. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, like, what is this? What kind of storytelling is this? What kind of narrative is this? This is garbage. Like, seriously, the Bible absolutely fucking sucks. Especially as a piece of literature. But technically, it's a reference book that tells a story. That's the way it's structured as a reference book. But even as a reference book, it is garbage because it tries to tell a story. And vice versa. Story that tries to be referenced. It's just a horrible piece of just whatever the hell you'd call it. It's not literature. It just is. It sucks. Why won't these people understand that? Like, this is garbage.
20 to 3,120. And they continued steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine and fellowship, and in breaking of bread, and in prayers. And fear came upon every soul, and many wonders and signs were done by the apostles. Jesus said to be able to raise the dead, heal the sick, raise the dead. Then he did.
Yeah, why don't we see any of that today? And why isn't there any extra biblical evidence of that ever? If all of the dead in Jerusalem rose up and there was just zombies everywhere, you think someone else would have made a note of it.
They did those signs. And all that believed were together and had all things common. If you needed something, somebody would give it to you. So I believe Ananias was among those 3,000.
Sounds like socialism to me, Kent.
New converts added to the church in Jerusalem. Can't prove that, but that seems the most logical from reading the story. He listened to the apostles.
Kent, are you adding to the word?
Preach and teach. He learned from them. He saw God
preach and teach. And with Jesus, he gave the old around reach.
Work miracles. He saw the early church members give everything they had to the work. All that believed were together and had all things common. When they prayed, the place was shaken where they were assembled together, and they were all filled with the Holy Ghost.
The place was shaken, not stirred. Remember that.
And they spake the word of God with boldness.
Boldness will be on the test.
And the multitude of them that believed were of one heart and one soul. Neither said any of them that aught of the things which he possessed was his own, but they had all things common.
No uncommon or rare things, though, so the salvage they got was poor. There's a little Guild Wars joke in there.
You don't look at anything like that's mine. It belongs to the ministry.
So, communism.
And with great power.
It's funny that they're so anti-communist, yet the way their ministerial stuff works is a variation of the same ideas that communism and socialist principles spawn.
Power gave the apostles witness of the resurrection of the Lord Jesus, and great grace was upon them all. So, this guy Ananias, he saw and...
Man, I already have enough trouble just keeping up with y'all's wonderful comments. I do not have time for a sin counter. I just don't have it, man. Oh, I don't even know how it added into Restream. Well, actually, if I made a secondary thing on my laptop that was specifically just a camera feed of that, I could make it work, but it's a good idea, though. But the practicality is, holy crap. Maybe in the future.
Felt the building shake. He was filled with the Holy Ghost and was boldly teaching the word.
Translation: he would get rammed from behind and screamed, "Oh Lord, I'm coming!"
He was part of the selfless crowd. Give everything to the ministry. Make sure all the widows and or
Yeah, and let's be clear, we're talking a very flawed actual practice of this uh, ministerial socialism, if we want to call it that. That is, of course, a level of authoritarianism um, in reality, where it's all can't. Hey, I can't control when people work, all right? I'm nobody's manager. I'm sorry, all right? Sunday mornings are an opportune time for me to stream, and I'm sorry that some are not as fortunate as I am to not have to work on what is, in my time, a Sunday morning. I wish I could do better, but I got to take the opportunities when I can.
orphans are taken care of. They believed all that had belonged to the Lord and supported his work. The communists will say, "Oh, see, that's how it's supposed to be. Commune. Nobody owns anything."
You don't understand what communism is, Kent. And yes, individuals own things. Personal property is not private property.
Communism has never worked. This is pure communism.
Yes, that's why the United States has had to interfere with every single reasonably socialist towards communist experiment nation ever. See, the problem, Kent, is that proper communism has never been put in place because it requires the revolution to complete, and it's never been allowed to come to completion because people, either internal or external, have fucked it up. The Soviet Union suffered a big problem there. It kind of became paranoid uh, to a degree of constantly fighting a revolution that it no longer needed to internally. And that in turn created eventual stagnation that led to its downfall. Other nations, however, have done better. That's not to knock the Soviet Union for trying. Um, Via different methods, but there have never been communist countries. There have been countries at varying levels of socialist principles, but nothing that's truly communist. And the closest we get actually is North Korea. And the nature of things there, well, we all know. But that's the nature of nations that are in perpetual revolution, oftentimes due to reaction to outside forces. Actually, Cuba does an amazing job at being pretty damn communist. Only problem is the U.S. likes to smack it around like we are now. Because I don't think you understand this, Kent, but right now the United States government is complicit in an attempted genocide of about 30 million people. We are literally trying to murder everyone in Cuba through starvation. Keep on telling me how bad Hitler was, though, and I'm not saying he and his ilk weren't bad, but yeah. Starving an entire nation isn't exactly a smooth move.
But it's not communism like the Russians and the Chinese and the North Koreans are doing. Yeah, yeah, common. Hold it in common, right? Okay.
Russia hasn't been a socialist nation for 25 years, Kent. The USSR was not Russia. Russia was a part of it. Okay? Okay.
Okay. Neither was there
Okay.
any among them that lacked. For as many as were possessors of land,
Good. We know everyone was currently strapped.
lands or houses sold them and brought the prices of things that were sold. These guys are serious. They'd sell their property and
And it's a dictatorship, just straight up. You call it a monarchy, monarchical dictatorship, but I don't think Eric's going to inherit DAL, nor does he want it. Honestly, he probably at this stage thinks DAL is stupid as hell. I would hope so.
give the money to the new ministry. I bet if you got 3,000 people, you got to build a bigger building. Okay? And laid them down at the apostles' feet. And distribution was made unto every man according as he had need. And Joseph, who by the apostles was surnamed Barnabas, which is being interpreted son of consolation, a Levite of the country of Cyprus, which is that island in Mediterranean, having
Yes, Kent, I take all my geographic advice from you. I know perfectly damn well where Cyprus is. And I did not inadvertently mistake it with Sicily the other week while I was looking on Google Earth. That totally didn't happen. Actually, it wasn't even Sicily I mixed it with. What island? What island is that I just totally got mixed up on? Sardinia. Yeah, for a moment. Or was it Sardinia or no? Or was it Crete? I totally just pegged wrong in Google Earth and was like, why do the names not match? I'm looking for Famagusta. There it is. Oh yeah, there's Cyprus. Because it was like 8:30 at night when I should have been going to sleep. Because I do that sometimes. I get wired by about 8 o'clock. I'm just like, fuck it. I'm going to deep dive into some bullshit. The next thing you know, I'm forgetting half the country because the medicine's kicking in. I mean, this stuff will knock you out.
and sold it and brought the money and laid it at the apostles' feet. So, okay. Now, nobody was required to give all to support the new church in Acts. It was not a requirement. They wanted to do this.
Straight facts from Jared. Cut knows everything about nothing. He lives in historic times and can't educate himself out of it. With good old clown emoji. Hell yeah. Get him with that clown emoji.
Okay? This giving was 100%
No sarcasm. It's perfect to describe Kent.
voluntary. Nobody today is required to give everything either. Your money goes where
Except for if you work at DAL. I mean, live at DAL. I mean, volunteer. I mean, do your mission work at DAL where you're expected to give me all your goddamn time.
your heart is. Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So you can tell what somebody really loves. That's where the money goes. Yeah. Into that nice fancy car, into that big fancy house, got to get new furniture, new clothes, 400 pairs of shoes in your closet. You can tell where the heart is.
What is this dude's obsession with fucking shoes, man? That's a subtle one. He always brings up footwear. Like, bruh. It isn't that crucial.
A certain man named Ananias, here he is, first time he's mentioned, Acts 5, with Sapphira his wife, sold a possession and kept back part
Then why didn't you just start at Acts 5?
of the price. His wife also being privy to it, and brought a certain part and laid it at the apostles' feet.
A certain part? What? Was he just carrying around cock and balls? Here you go.
But Peter said, Ananias, why has Satan filled thine heart to lie to the Holy Ghost, to keep back part of the price of the land? How did Peter know? I guess the Lord told him, okay?
Probably because it's a shitty story and they created a meta narrative understanding character. And that's kind of a problem in telling a story where someone just magically knows something.
So what can we learn? Ananias and his wife decided of their own free will to sell some land and give to the church. Yay, that's wonderful, okay? He brought money to the church leaders and laid it at their feet. Peter knew Ananias was being deceitful, looking for glory for himself. They were not required to do this at all. They were not required to give 100%. There would be nothing wrong with giving part or giving nothing at all. It was their land. They could have sold it and kept it. They could have sold it and said, look, we're going to give the church 10%, 20%, 30%. The problem is the lying and
Okay, there's a foot fetish, maybe.
the hypocrisy. That's the problem.
Or maybe just a shoe fetish. Maybe it's a case of he has a bunch of shoes and he wants to mock others when really he's insecure about his own love of, cheap Walmart brand footwear.
Take heed that you do not your alms before men to be seen of them. That's what Ananias did. He's giving to be seen. Hey, look, I'm giving money to the church. Jesus said, don't do that.
Huh, look at Hovind. I'm building an ark for God. I'm building a kids' adventure park. Oh, look at us. Look at us. We're a temperamental, fundamental, right-wing, chicken-eating Baptist church, blah, blah, blah. I don't see the difference, Kent.
Otherwise, ye have no reward of your Father which is in heaven. Therefore, when thou doest thine alms, do not sound a trumpet before thee, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues. They would get somebody, here's, the mayor's going to give $1,000. Everybody look, right?
Kent, we've all watched Looney Tunes. We've seen the medieval skits with Bugs Bunny. We all know about the trumpeting in of shit. Do you think we're all culturally inept like you are? I mean, I guess your audience probably is. You know, their cousins, their wives, their mother, that's also their sister.
Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. When thou doest alms, let not thy left hand know what thy right hand doeth, that thine alms may be in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret himself shall reward thee openly. And so he goes back to Acts chapter 5 here.
Oh, it is you, Marty. Hey. Sorry, I hadn't recognized it in a bit. I'm like, where's she been? Oh, one of these days YouTube will get its shit straight.
Peter said to him, while it remained, was it not thine own? And after it was sold, was it not in thine own power? Ananias, it's your money. Why hast
Oh, good point, considering that's what Mark Stoney said about Kent making his daughter rub his feet. Yeah. Yeah, Kent has a foot fetish.
thou conceived this thing in thine heart? Thou hast not lied unto men, but unto God. And Ananias, hearing these words, fell down and gave up the ghost. He died. And great fear came on all them that
So the stream's over, right? Why does it go on for another 20 minutes?
heard these things. And the young men arose, wound him up, and carried him out, buried him. Ananias tried to get glory for himself.
Now, is that strictly in King James, or is that in all translations, Kent?
He lied, and he died.
He lied and he died, and the meat is chicken fried.
John chapter 12. This he said, not that he cared for the poor, but because he was a thief and had the bag. This is talking about Judas, Jesus' disciples. Judas. Judas was the treasurer. He held the bag, and he was stealing from Jesus. For some of them thought because Judas had the bag, and Jesus said, go buy something for the poor. In Acts 19, ye have brought hither these men which are neither robbers of churches. Is it possible to rob the church? Yeah. How many times have I been robbed here, Joseph?
There we go. There's Ken having to make it all personal.
I can think of 5 in the last 10 years. Yeah.
Well, given that any time further back than 10 years towards up to 20 years, you were in the federal slammer. Well, white collar bullshit, piss ass. I didn't really commit a crime, even though what I did is infinitely worse than what most people get far worse sentences for when you look at the grand scheme of things. But for some reason, the government goes light on certain types of scumbag. Class prison.
Jesus trusted Judas, and he was a thief. Jesus knew this, though. Will a man rob God? Malachi 3. Yet you have robbed me. How do we rob you? In tithes and offerings. Here it is. Will a man rob God? Yet you have robbed me. But you say, wherein have...
Yeah, straight up. Why does God not talk to people today in a verifiable way? Because for some reason, every person who thinks they're hearing the voice of God today winds up being some kind of fucking schizophrenic or something. Not to knock people who have a mental condition. You can't help that stuff. But why is it that hearing the voice of God today usually results in a diagnosis of some kind of mental condition, whereas back then you were just a prophet of God?
We robbed thee? In tithes and offerings. Ye are cursed with a curse. Ye have robbed me, even this whole nation.
Mithral brings up a good point. It's interesting. Most of the clergymen she's met have been excellent storytellers. They know how to keep their audience engaged. Kent is the exception. Kent's a terrible storyteller. Absolutely terrible. I can only hope that I do bring genuine entertainment in my oration, along with my other attacks on self and meandering bullshit fests that 2 minutes in I realized, wait, I probably should have shut up about 3 minutes ago. But hey, we're here now, right? I think y'all enjoy it. Otherwise, why would you be here? Four of them were his wives. Good point, Tyler. Four of the people who robbed them. Well, did they really rob them? They kind of owned half of it. So I say they just took what their part was. And honestly, Kent got away easy in some of these cases.
Look, when you steal from God, you may get by with it short term. Then what?
Which means you don't get away with it.
Haggai, the book of Haggai, another one of the minor prophets. You've sown much and bring in little. You plant.
Tigre adds in, all churches from all religions tend to steal hard-earned money from followers. The leaders of the churches are lazy pieces of fucks. That's a good one. Pieces of fucks that steal from followers to live a parasite life. Yeah, exactly. Just why are they always flying around in personal jets and shit, living in mansions, whereas the people who go to them, some of them are like, you know, 1 foot deep in, excuse me, every problem you can have, you know?
Planted a bunch of crops and didn't get much, did you? You eat, but you don't have enough. You drink, but you're not filled with drink. You clothe, but there's none warm. He that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. You get a paycheck, but it just seems like it's kind of gone. I mean,
Well, you know, if you stop giving 10% to the church, that's 10 more percent you'd have.
you know what I'm talking about. You've been there before. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right. You ain't had a paycheck in 50 years, Kent. Shut up.
Thus saith the Lord, consider.
Also, hey, if you guys hate losing most of your money all the time or seeming to never actually earn anything, you might want to not vote for goddamned literal Nazis who want to push capitalism to the nth degree and just rape you everything and shove prices up the ass with 15% tariffs because that'll totally teach the commies in China. Like, I don't get these fuckers thinking that voting for the people who fuck over everyone who isn't a billionaire is somehow going to make their lives better. The only thing that ever trickles down in trickle down economics is piss and shit.
Your ways. Stop and think. Look what you're doing. When you rob God, there's holes in your wallet, and the money just kind of.
I will pull a logic and fucking straight up axe God. I don't care.
Gone, okay? About the space of 3 hours after, his wife, not knowing what was done, came in. So Ananias died for lying. Now his wife comes in 3 hours later.
Wow, that's real godly. Yep. All right, he lied, so he just fucking died. Now his wife has no idea what's going on. And given the way the Bible is, she's probably going to get accosted by multiple individuals in a very unfortunate way. Because that's just how the Bible is. Women don't matter.
She'd been at Walmart, okay? And Peter answered unto her, tell me whether you sold the
Someone seriously laughed at that joke. She was at Walmart.
land for so much. And she said, yep, that was how much we sold it for. She's in on the lie too. Then Peter said, how is it ye have agreed together to tempt the Spirit of the Lord? Behold, the feet of them which have buried thy husband are at the door, and shall carry thee out. Then fell she down straightway at his feet, and yielded up the ghost. And the young men came in, found her dead, carried her forth, and buried her by her husband. And great fear came upon all the church, and upon as many as heard these things. It's really, this is all we know about this guy Ananias. Not mentioned again, not mentioned before. Acts chapter 5.
Good point from T. Gray. Those people didn't steal from God. They steal from you. You aren't God. You're a simple human, Hovind. Very simple human.
What can we learn from him? He saw the miracles that the church was doing. He wanted praise of men. He led his wife down the wrong path. Hey, honey, you know we sold that property for $50,000. Let's give $20,000 and claim it's everything. Yeah. His fault that she died too. But it's just as much her fault. She was in on it too. She knew. This is an illustration in this chapter of what's known as the principle of the first mention. If you get into Bible study seriously, there's some.
Well, everyone ready for some outright insanity? Because I feel like that's what's coming up. I think Kent's First Amendment lawsuit thing is going to make more sense than whatever the hell this is by the time it's all said and done.
Basic, called biblical hermeneutics, big fancy word, how to study the Bible. The first time something is mentioned, it really shows
Yes, so you have to have a guide on how to study this book that's supposed to be transparent to everybody. How convenient.
God's heart, what he wants to do, or what he, doesn't mean he does it every time. The first time somebody worked on the newly established Sabbath back in Numbers 15.
And my personal favorite verse is that one's a pretty fun one. Also, the that one's pretty good too.
God killed him. He just was not picking up sticks on the Sabbath. God told Moses, kill him. They stoned.
Wait, for not picking up sticks?
He just was not picking up sticks on the Sabbath.
Oh, he just went out. Okay, I was about to say.
God told Moses, kill him. They stoned him. It doesn't mean he's always going to do that, but that is the principle of the first. It's the first time it happened, and so God showed his heart. The first time someone stole something was dedicated to God's work, they were killed. That was Achan in Joshua chapter 7. God said, when you take that first city,
God damn it. I was muted. Clegg, that guy's dead.
you take, I want everything you get out of that city to go in to help build the church and the temple furniture. Achan stole some stuff that belonged to God, and God killed him. Joshua 5. The first time somebody lied to the Holy Spirit, right here, Ananias, God killed him. I'm glad he doesn't do that all the time. There's a bunch of small churches all over the country. Yeah. That doesn't mean it's going to happen every time, but it shows.
Everyone's a piece of shit. But the Bible's good stuff. Evolution teaches people that we're all related in, life, and we're all connected, and that, we should actually care. Well, some can imply that if we care about ourselves, we should care about other life on the planet, if one wants to read that deep into it. But the Bible, oh yeah, people should just be killed for stealing from God, just why the fuck not? It's like, what the fuck, man?
God's attitude towards that
Why can't it
activity.
be like Mjolnir, where you just can't take God's things? It just won't move for you unless it's supposed to.
Psalm 111. Praise ye the Lord.
Ooh, that's another good verse. Praise ye the Lord.
I will praise the Lord with my whole heart. With my whole heart have I sought thee. Give me understanding, and I shall keep thy law. Yea, I shall observe it with my whole heart. I entreated thy favor with my whole heart. The proud have forged a lie against me, but I will keep thy precepts with my whole heart. I cried with my whole heart, hear me, O Lord, I'll keep thy statutes. I will praise thee with my whole heart. Before the gods will I praise unto thee, sing praise unto thee. Was there ever a time when you gave the Lord your whole heart?
Oh my God, keyboard, will you stop? Jesus. No, Kent, because I kind of need that to pump blood. And that's all the heart does. It's a muscle that acts as the pressure generator for the for the vascular circulatory system. That's it, Kent. This picture is pretty fucking disturbing, honestly. Yeah, it's a cartoony heart. Also, that heart is way too tiny. But that's still pretty disturbing. Am I supposed to go Kali-Ma, rip it on out? Like the fucking nerd did in the Indiana Jones episode? The good one, not the shitty one?
Did you take it back? Remember, don't steal from God. Belongs to him. You better say, Lord, I'm sorry. I took it back, Lord. Here, you can have it again. See, the word revival, vive means alive, vivacious, so vitality. So revive is where you are made alive again. If you gave your
Is
heart
it
to the
though,
Lord,
Kent? Because you say this about replenish originally just means to fill, which is true. But does revive have the same etymology, Kent? I need to know. Probably does, but I just want to, make sure.
Lord one time, and then you kind of took it back. Maybe you better get alone tonight and say, Lord, I'd like you to have it back. I'd like you to
Kent, I would get a loan, but this goddamned credit system we have in this country fucking sucks. Can I borrow about 1K from you? I'll pay it back. And I would too.
Revive me. Revive us again. Okay. Questions or comments, brother?
Yeah, you suck. Unless you want to let me borrow 1K, in which case you suck less. And I'll be nice until the debt is repaid. I would too.
Why is there a need for a new heaven rather than only a new earth? Well, heaven has been contaminated. Satan's been up there. He has freedom right now to go back and forth up to God, and he's called the accuser of the brethren. Satan goes up there and says, hey, did you see what Joseph did? Look at that, God. Look at that.
Yeah, good point. Tyler brings up, notice all the women are either totally obedient servants of their husbands and fathers, or they are disobedient whores. There's no in between.
Back him. God says, look, I paid for that. Good thing, huh?
I paid for that. It's a good thing, huh? Yes, sir, says Joseph, afraid he's going to get beaten with the nail club again. So a giant Louisville slugger with just nails rammed through it. It's horrible.
Jesus is the lawyer, the advocate. Okay, he stands in our place. So God says, look, it doesn't cost God nothing to make a new heaven and a new earth. No big deal for him. He owns it all. So why? I don't know. He can do what he wants. He's the boss. Okay.
Note again the obsession with ownership with Kent. That's a thing about him. He is hyper obsessed with ownership.
Why do whales have vestigial leg bones and whiskers?
Oh, good God. Please stop asking him shit that's in his script, people.
If God made them to live in the ocean. Well, first, they do not have vestigial leg bones.
Oh, well,
they have hairs.
He's probably going to say his favorite thing. Everyone get your favorite drink of choice ready. Snack or something.
On their body because they're mammals, and they use the hairs as sensitivity for lots of things, just like we have hairs that...
Why are they mammals, Kent? Why?
Do much, but they do something. They make a little layer of hair all on your arms, stuff like that, keeps a little layer of air there that helps you stay warm. Some animals have a lot more. Otters have 1 million hairs per square inch. They're so tightly packed they can't even get wet. The water can't penetrate, like having no wetsuit on. Almost designed for the water.
It'd be a dry suit, Kent. A wetsuit keeps you warm by getting wet. A dry suit keeps you dry, you fucking idiot.
So whoever told you whales have vestigial leg bones is either lying or stupid. It is not true. Tell them I said so. I'll debate them, anybody on that. I got one of them here. It's in the museum. One of those bones. It's part of the whale's reproductive...
I was about to say, is he not going to it? Is he not going to say it? Here he goes, everyone. Get ready.
System. It's got nothing to do with walking on land. Now, it's in the same location where our hip bones would be, because that's how they make babies. Without those bones, you can't get baby whales. And their penis is 15...
Oh, he said it! I'm sorry, but goddamn. He fucking said it again! I thought he wouldn't. I thought he would avoid it, and you could tell he was trying to. But he had to say it.
They got to make love underwater in the dark, and they can't talk and say, scoot over, honey.
Oh, we got to hear it again.
That's how they make babies. Without those bones, you can't get baby whales. And their penis is 15 feet long. They got to make love underwater in the dark, and they can't talk and say, scoot over, honey. They got to have these special muscles. Do some anatomy study on a whale, okay? It is to make baby whales. It is not a leg bone, okay?
Except it is a vestigial hip structure and leg structures. Just anatomically, they are. They functionally cannot be anything else. Just that's not how that works. We've been over this, Hovind. Also, you truly couldn't hide the opportunity. Look how smug he looks. You couldn't hide the opportunity to... You couldn't just lay back and be a decent person and not have to bring up whale penis. He's so proud of himself on that one. Oh, that smug ass frame is probably going to be the thumbnail.
Robert. No, wait a minute. Robert Workman, Jay Workman, the whole Workman family in Pekin, Illinois, was in our church, worked in the bus route with me. Are you related to them? Anyway, Brother Hovind, I shared a clip from your The Age of the Earth seminar on TikTok, and a few atheists said we now have seen stars form. What's a good way to counter this?
Hey, we see stars forming all the goddamn time. We see every single step, and apparently it's in my watch later list from this morning. Apparently, we've observed black hole formation. I'm gonna have to look into the details on that, but apparently that's something.
See the evidence for that. What are they forming from?
Clouds of gas, Kent.
Forming out of nothing? I don't
Clouds of gas.
believe it at all. Okay.
Tough shit. I don't care what you do or don't believe. You're wrong.
What they might see is a spot getting brighter as telescopes get better. Doesn't mean a star's forming.
That's not how that works. And we don't see a spot getting brighter. You can make out some detail, buddy.
You just see it more clearly. It might be the dust cloud is clearing in between us and them. There's several other options beside. And again,
except if you actually bothered to study, all this what if, what's that, if you actually looked into any of the particular examples, you would see the evidence in question.
There's enough stars up there that everybody on Earth, every individual person can own 11 trillion of them to yourself. Million, billion, trillion. That's what you could, just one person could own that many. And there's a lot of stars. So if they see one form, which I do not believe, that still would be.
I don't even want to estimate how many relatively close by that we see in the early stages of development. It's got to be a pretty high number. Things like the Orion Nebula alone providing a fuck ton.
This doesn't solve the problem. How do you get all these 70 sextillion stars? Okay, let's see.
Gravity, you fucking moron, gravity. Have you ever heard of gravity? Gravity!
Still say it's not possible for something that came from nothing. The Big Bang is still not possible. Big Bang is stupid. Tell them I said so. I'll debate all of them on that one. Bring it up. William, does the Bible talk about exoplanets and exomoons? Well,
the Bible barely comprehends that the Earth isn't flat. And by barely, I mean it doesn't. They have no clue. That's the thing. If you look at the entire text of the Bible, it's specific to a people's view of one particular couple of 100 miles area in any given direction. Understanding of reality. They only mention species that exist in that area at that time, only mentions locations in that area, doesn't know anything about anywhere else, doesn't talk about any other kind of people that wouldn't have been known at that time, and sure as hell is completely wrong about astronomy.
A few moons. I think there's nearly 100 moons in our solar system.
Kent, there's nearly 100 moons around each Saturn and Jupiter. Fuck, possibly Neptune and Uranus. I don't know. Those motherfuckers got a lot of goddamn moons. There's like 500 or 600 moons in this goddamn solar system, dog. Maybe not that many, but still.
We know of 7. I think Pluto's still a planet. I'm going to call it one. I think they're.
Oh, yes. And fucking moron-tastic still doesn't comprehend 2 decades later, the reclassification of Pluto. You love to see it. And that right there, I'm going to be frank, that's a barometer for me. Is if people are still just I'm just going to call it a plan anyway attitude, that kind of pathetic defiance, I'm sorry, that's stupid to me. That is definitive active idiocy. It's the same thing with the GIF debate. The creator said it's GIF. I've got plenty of sources I can cite in episodes of Computer Chronicles where more often than not, the people in the 80s and 90s will call it GIF versus GIF. But again, I go back to the creator itself said it was GIF. Acronyms don't have to follow the pronunciation rules of the individual words. Otherwise, scuba would more accurately be pronounced scuba, self-contained underwater. It's not underwater, unless you're German. But the fact the creator said this is how you pronounce the acronym should be the be-all, end-all of it. And if people want to say GIF, that's fine. But they don't just want to say that. They want to actively say that they are the correct ones. And that's just not the fucking case. It just demonstrably isn't. So acknowledge that, yes, I'm pronouncing it technically incorrectly. I understand this. You're fine. But people want to be hell bent on just denying what is actual fact. And it shows a level of bullheadedness, a level of, I don't like this, so I'm just not gonna fucking believe it. When it's the way things are defined, things have been just de jure made to be. Pluto was reclassified. Get the fuck over it. It doesn't change what the physical object orbiting the sun is. It's in a subcategory of the broader classification of planets that is a dwarf planet. Get over it. I just don't get that shit.
8 other planets, no question. We don't know that there's planets around any other stars. Maybe.
Yeah, we fucking do, Kent. We've seen those sons of bitches.
It wouldn't matter. We know the only one we know there's life is this one. This one right here. Home sweet home.
Which is not the question that was asked.
Terra firma. So you can.
Apparently, it's 290 confirmed moons in our solar system. 1 on Earth, 2 on Mars, 95 on Jupiter, 145 on Saturn. God, Saturn's got a lot of fucking moons. Uranus is 27. Neptune has 14. If you with dwarf planets like Pluto, the total goes up a bit more because Pluto has 4 moons, I believe.
Believe you want all you want about other life on other planets, but the Bible says Eve's the mother of all living. So I don't believe there's any life, intelligent life on any other planet.
He's not asking about life. He's talking about just whether or not they exist or not, Kent. See, you go off into some tirade about whatever.
There's not much intelligent life on this planet, but you got people going off to college getting a PhD and come out believing they came from.
And the Pleiades, very good point on stellar formation. I forget about that formation. And whales do talk to each other. Yeah, they do. Whale songs are communication. Ken Hovind is the IRL Jerry Smith from Rick and Morty, totally.
A rock, and they're related to a potato. That's called artificial.
Jesus, stupid. Tell him I said so. Will do, Sean. Will do.
Artificial intelligence. Yeah.
Tigray adds in, stubbornness is a major characteristic of conservatives. They don't want to acknowledge new information, that science changes to adapt to new information. Khaleesi going into a random rant, my favorite part of the stream. Lighthearted. It is fun when I just go off into a tirade. And what's funny is people that I met through life always hate those things. So it's funny that y'all appreciate them so much because it's like, oh, you get me. So it's not a me problem. It's an every motherfucker I've met in my entire life is a fucking buzzkill problem.
Okay. Leave it.
But of course, most of them have legitimately been entitled pieces of shit in one way or another, usually very well privileged, and also unable to comprehend the nature of the psyche of someone who's an abuse victim. So,
bye. Dr. Hovind, does the light year fit in science in measuring the life of a planet? Because some scientists say, since it's 1 million miles away, therefore it's 1 million years old. That's not true at all. 17
welcome to his light speed bullshit.
times in the Bible it says God stretched out the heavens. Watch my video number.
And like 500 times it says kill. What's the point?
For 7 of my seminar series, I give a long answer to that one. God made the earth first. Read Genesis 1.
Is it a 15-foot long answer?
He made the earth, and then he made the stars later. Made the earth on day 1, made the stars on day 4. Yeah. Then he stretched them out into place. So they probably are billions of light years away. I wouldn't question that. But they could have been made yesterday.
Except the Bible's original texts actually describe it in much the same way as one throwing a blanket over things, because it was effectively thought of as almost a blanket over the crystal dome covering the flat snow globe Earth that had little holes in it to let light in. And that's the stars that then somehow became their own objects that, you know, can come down and do battle with people and you can step on them because apparently stars are tiny.
And stretched out to that position. See, a light year is a distance. It's not a time. It's like a...
Yes, it's the distance that light travels in a year. Duh.
Hovind minute. How far can Hovind run in a minute? Not as far as it used to be, but okay. It's a distance. It's not a time. Okay? So a light year is a distance. It has nothing to do with time. Okay. Will, hey,
Oh God, yeah, Moss Eater adds in. Felt that buzzkill and being around entitled people problems, not just a guy who's been around way too many ableist people my life. Yeah, yeah, that's exactly it.
can you discuss any knowledge you have about the Catawba? Oh, I think you misspelled. I think it's C-A. I don't have enough to have a firm opinion on
I don't know anything that isn't in my script. He always stumbles like that too. He's like the.
that. This, I think you're talking about the Jewish leaders that want to rule the world and all this kind of stuff. If that's
Which is something you wish to enable, Kinst.
what you mean, I have to leave that for somebody else. I don't chase that rabbit. Okay. Barbara, Dr. Kent, are there any discounts for out-of-towners who want to go visit Dinosaur Adventureland Museum? It's free.
Yeah, I was gonna say, oh God, there's a freeze frame. Oh, that's my thumbnail. Oh my God, get that with the text "whale penis" on it. Boom.
How can you discount that? Sure, we'll cut the price in half just for you.
Okay, that was actually amusing. You could pay me to visit. Seriously, sponsor me coming down there. I'd be more than happy to if you sponsor the transit costs.
Come on down. Bobby, so his wife was getting home from Walmart. Oh, that's KGB. Yes. You got to read between the lines, Bobby.
Oh, I didn't feel bad. That was a fun one from Bobby. It almost seems like she's trying to take the piss out of Hovind. Like seriously, something about the vibe from these guys. The more I think about it, Bobby and Joseph seems like this is very much a me. Oh my God, keyboard, would you stop? I really need to figure out what the exact cable part I need for this keyboard is and put it in a wish list or just order the fucker. Yeah, it seems like Bobby and Joseph really like they may genuinely believe this stuff, but it seems like they are almost sick and tired of Kent in their own right, and they're just playing along until they can get out. I could be completely wrong, and I'm gonna be honest. When I had called Joseph a couple weeks ago, the vibe I got from his voice on the phone sounded a little defeated, but that he was hiding it. I don't know if it was just in the moment or if it was like, oh, he's talking to Yamato. Oh boy, this is going to go nowhere kind of feeling. But I don't know. Again, being very serious for a moment, I kind of hope it goes like Grantham and Jessica did, where when they leave, their lives go back to just being what their lives should be. And I still need to message Grantham. In fact, I'm probably going to do that after the stream. Go on and form my opening message and hope I get a response. Be very nice.
Lisa, what is Calvinism? There's a guy back a couple, John Calvin, 1600s. He came up with some crazy doctrines, and he thought that, and a lot of people started following him. I mean, some people still do follow him. John Calvin, they call themselves Calvinists. Let's see, Peter Ruckman wrote a good.
This guy Kent Hovind has a lot of crazy ideas, and some people still follow him. Call them Hovindites.
Book on that, Why I'm Not a Calvinist, Why I'm Not New Age Global Citizen, Why I'm Not a Muslim, Why I'm Not a Catholic. There you go. Why I'm Not a Calvinist. We got that one, Joseph? Or,
No, I got to put it in my studio. We do sell it, though.
okay. How much?
13 or 16 bucks.
16 or 13 or 16 bucks.
And they can find your whole playlist.
90 pages. Yeah, I did a whole series on this also, Brother Hovind, why are you about? I went through all the other religions. I can't be this one because this is what I believe. And I don't believe that. The Bible doesn't teach that, in my opinion. Calvin taught some crazy things. Five-point Calvinism. Just memorize the word tulip. T-U-L-I-P. Totally of man. You can't even to be saved if the Holy Spirit doesn't guide you. The perseverance, the P, of the saints. You got to hang on or you lose your salvation. That's heresy. Okay. L is for limited atonement. Jesus only died for those who are going to be saved. No, he died for all, and all could be saved. So it's a heresy in my humble, totally unbiased, and correct opinion. Okay? Okay? Let's see. Neil, Dr. Hovind, do you think at the end of the universe, the last layer of water acts like a mirror? could definitely make the stars uncountable. There's only
Okay, I'm gonna be real. That is an interesting quandary. It has no validity in the basis, but as a person who has enjoyed Final Fantasy growing up primarily, that particular type of fanciful thinking and world building, that is one of those things that kind of feels in place. It could fit in Star Trek too. Who the hell knows? You theoretically go to the edge of the universe in Star Trek. Their warp system's going crazy. It happened in the Next Generation. They went like another galaxy. Just saying. It's an interesting thought experiment. I don't take any of this stuff seriously, but when you get into oddities like this, my ears kind of perk up because it's like, ooh, fantasy world building.
one reference, maybe two references. Well, the Apostle Paul said he was caught up to the third heaven. The Bible teaches, I'm convinced, and other people don't agree with that, but they will when they go to heaven. God will straighten them out. When God made first he made the heaven singular and the earth.
As long as you stay away from seventh heaven, I heard the guy there is a little touchy-feely.
Genesis 1:1. Then he divided that heaven singular up into three heavens. The first slice is called the first heaven, where the birds fly, the firmament. And he says there was water above the firmament. I think it was a layer of ice above the atmosphere. Then comes the second heaven, where the stars are. We call that outer space. The third heaven, Apostle Paul said when he was rocked to sleep or stoned to death at Lystra, he was caught up to the third heaven. There's one other reference in Psalms, I don't have it in front of me now, says God sits upon many waters. Another one about he sits on the crystal sea. There might be, the first crystal canopy, I think, got shattered at the time of the flood and dumped on the North and South Pole, instant ice age. There could be another crystal sphere around all the stars. Probably everything we see, all these stars, there's a little bitty glass ball on God's dresser. Shake it. Hey, shape up.
Why would he have a dresser? Why would he wear clothes? Explain, Kent.
So we'll see. Don't know. But yeah, I think there is another crystal canopy out there. I have no evidence for it at all, other than a couple scriptures that seem to kind of indicate that. Okay? Are you evangelical? I met an angel, and it was told about dinosaurs. I don't think get the two together.
Met an angel? Was it Sachio? Ramiel? Kaoru? I need to know. Tell me you get the reference. Someone out there.
There. Let's put that back up again. What was that, Joseph? Evangelical means evangelists try to win people to the Lord. Definitely. I've been doing that for 57 years. Okay? You met an angel and was told about dinosaurs. I'd have to see some evidence for that. Bible talks about it. Doesn't use
Really? You gotta see some evidence for that. Oh! How the turns have tabled, Kent.
the word dinosaur. Calls them dragons or behemoth or leviathan. We covered that on
Behemoth was either a hippo or an elephant.
video number 3, all about dinosaurs. Okay, any more?
Yeah, you should know that you were wrong. The earth is in fact flat.
I'm wrong. The earth is flat.
Yes.
Sorry to hear about that.
How can Christians defend the existence of God by combining biblical teaching with scientific teaching?
There's no scientific evidence against God.
There's nothing but. If you look at it from a matter of trying to prove the deity, everything points in the other direction.
How could there be? The more we know about science, what we know, man is gaining more and more knowledge. Okay, that's not disproving God. We know.
Except, again, it kind of is, because the more we learn about reality, the further and further into a dark, musty corner your God gets pushed.
From observation and from testing and experiments for thousands of years that cows produce cows. We know that. We do not know that cows are related to potatoes and they came from an amoeba. You don't know that. You think that. That's a belief system. It's a religion. So everything, all of
It's not a religion.
science matches what the Bible says. God made everything in 6 days. There's no science that goes against anything in the Bible. You got some? Show me.
Geology, biology, astronomy, physics, chemistry, zoology, plate tectonics, weather, meteorology, I should say, hydrodynamics. Let's see, everything.
You believe you have to be baptized to be saved? Absolutely not. No, baptism is a public symbol, like putting on a wedding ring. Doesn't make you saved, it just shows other people. It's a public symbol.
Ha, Satan, you blew it. I'm getting married to Jesus. Wait, I've got to be the wife? I'm the bride? No!
And thief on the cross couldn't get baptized. He was kind of occupied at the time. He had to hang up. And the other part was that, once saved, always saved? Absolutely. I said, if you could lose your salvation, everybody would lose it every day. Salvation, my salvation depends on what Jesus did, not what Kent does. Okay?
Good. Then it should also depend on what Jebus did and not what anyone does. So whether or not one accepts or rejects or is unaware of this supposed sacrifice, it should be automatic. So what the fuck are you on about? This shit's so weird, man. It's nothing but, flawed logic after flawed logic.
Let's see, what are demons? They're mentioned quite a few times in the Bible.
I don't know, but I can tell you what a man is. A miserable little pile of secrets. But enough talk. Have at you.
Actually, devils is usually the word they use, or demons is in there too. Apparently, the fallen angels, that's the best guess I've ever heard. I don't think the Bible doesn't emphasize a lot on that topic. It just says they exist, but they're on the losing team, so
I don't care. It's not something I put in my script.
doesn't matter. Jeff, where can I watch your recordings about carbon dating and how correct it is?
I don't know, bro. Just keep watching, and Kent will probably go on a rant about it because we still got plenty of video left.
Well, carbon dating is not correct, okay? So you can't watch that on that. But my video number 7, seminar part 7, is question answer time. Plus, I've covered that many times on my show here. If they just go to, say, Rumble and type in carbon dating with my name.
Yeah, they can find it there.
Find it there?
Just Google KenHovind.tv and they can see it on your app.
KenHovind.tv on our app. I've covered it.
On Rumble, it should be there.
On Rumble, I've covered it many times, carbon dating. Okay?
You're an awesome spokesman for Christ. Keep up the good work.
Well, thank you. I tend to. I try to.
6 24-hour days.
I am going to speed this shit up because I want to get this done. I got a little side project I want to work on here in a bit, and I don't want to do it while I'm streaming.
Days or 6 1,000-year days.
Well, it's going to sound crazy. It's both. God's working on a 6,000 year or 7,000 year calendar, I believe. Even when a day is similar to 1,000 years. And let's see. Yep. There's a small version of the big chart behind me. The creation days were normal, literal 24-hour days. It has to be. He made the plants on day 3. He made the sun on day 4. Then he made the insects and birds to pollinate the plants on day 5 and 6. So it has to be 24-hour days. Plus later, God told him in the 10 Commandments, Exodus 20, I want you to work 6 days and rest 1 because I worked 6 days and rested 1. He wasn't telling him to work 6,000 years and finally take a break. So there's literal 24-hour days for the
No, that's what Hovind was telling him to do.
creation, but it's also, I think, symbolic of a much bigger picture of a 7,000 year calendar God's working on. And we're almost to the end of 6,000 years. Real close. I'm surprised we made it to 2026. Yeah. Of course, now keep in mind, our calendar is starting at the birth of Christ. Maybe we should have been started at the resurrection. In which case, well, we know our calendar is at least 3 or 4 years off because of the long story. Jesus was born in 3 or 4 BC. So this would really be 2028 or 9. But if you go from the resurrection of Christ, it'd be just getting all real close to 2,000 years. Get busy, do something for the Lord. Okay, quit worrying about chasing Zelda and win some souls. Okay? Right?
How can we know our names are in the book of life? The book of life?
Well, if you ask him to save you, he promises he would. Check it out. If you doubt it, ask him again. I tell people it didn't hurt to ask him again. Man, when I was a new Christian, I went down to every service and asked the Lord to save me again and again and again and again. Finally, my preacher said, Kent, he did the first time. If you came to my house, knocked on the door, and I said, hey, come on in, have a seat, I'll have supper for you. And we're sitting having supper, and I look over and say, hey, come on in. I did. Every 10 minutes, I look over, hey, come on in. Come on in, come on. I'm in. Did you ask him to save you? Then he did.
Yeah, that's stupid. You'd be stupid for that. That'll be a good thumbnail later.
Now, if you don't feel at peace, ask him again. See, if you're laying in bed, watching the news, and it comes on the TV screen, there's a gang of escaped criminals wandering, and they name your city. Right away, you think, is the door locked? Okay? You got 2 choices. Lay there and worry about it, or get up and go check.
Now, Kent, I live in Memphis. When is the door not locked? Actually, only if I'm going out within the immediate vicinity to do something, in which case I know there's very little chance of anybody coming in ahead of time because I will, one, have vision of the door the entire time, and two, there's no one fucking around. So no one's going to magically instant teleportation right to the door and just pop their ass on in. And three, if they do, then the police are immediately being called, and there's going to be situations, and I don't really care what happens to them.
Is there another choice? I can't think of one. Okay. Now, if you get up and go check, there's two choices. It was locked or it wasn't. I can't think of another one there either. So you get up, you go check, and the door was
Go check door. Door missing.
locked. You go back to
I mean, I guess I would qualify as unlocked, but
bed. All you have changed is your confidence. You didn't change the lock any. It was already locked, but you changed your confidence. Now, if you ask the Lord to save you, and He's already saved you, He's already in your heart, you didn't change anything except your confidence level. Don't be the least bit afraid. Ask Him again. Okay? What is the
dear Lord, save me from the Hovind.
method you use to memorize so much scripture?
Ken has fuck all memorized, you idiot. Oh my god.
I read it a lot. I don't purposely try to memorize a lot. I mean, I have over my lifetime done that many times, but if you read it 20 times, pretty soon you know by heart, you know? I did not purposely memorize the directions from here to Circle K. I've driven it quite a few times. Or in Bobby's case, Walmart, okay? Let me do it in her sleep, didn't she? Aaron, when Jesus healed people, sometimes the sickness or condition was because of a demon. How can we know today if a person's sickness or condition is due to a demon? I don't know. Don't know.
It's not because it never was, dumbass.
Okay, thank you so much. See you tomorrow night. Whack an atheist. If you see some atheists that need whack or something to do shows about me, send it to Joseph, tech support at Dr. Dino, TECH, tech support. And Joseph, you tell me which one needs whack the worst. Yes, I got a long list of them I'm working on, but
And none of them are ever going to be Lord Yamato.
so many targets, so little time. I'm having fun doing it, though. All you atheists, thank you. Making my job so fun. See you tomorrow. Bye. Spirit and the bride say, come. Let him that heareth say, come. Let him that is athirst, come.
We end on the come.
Come. If you're not a Christian, come. Let somebody show you how to become one.
Like someone show you how to come? No, thank you. I don't need that help. Home unlocked for a week. Good neighbors. I did it with my back door in my old place. It was unlocked for like a week solid. That was kind of weird. Nothing happened. So, yeah. Anyway, okay. That was Hovind's Tuesday video. I mean, what do you say? It was just madness. It is what it is. I don't know. Don't really have any follow-ups, any kind of parting words or anything. We'll hit Hovind's Sunday stream once it happens. That should be roughly hour to an hour and a half from now. So that gives me some time to work on some side projects and do some other stuff. Yeah. I'll catch everyone then.